Hi guys. I have been wondering a lot about chickens and how we can tell when they're babies, if they're a boy or a girl. And I know Miss Gina gave you a whole lot of information. Well, one of the things that I did some research on was the feathers, because when I had them for the weekend, I was looking at their little chicken feathers and wondering a lot about them. So here's some of the information I found. I think you're going to find this super interesting. Okay, so chickens, when they're born, they have feathers called down feathers. Those are those little fluffy, sweet, squishy feathers that they're born with, and they're super soft. And those are close to the chicken's body, so it keeps them warm. Okay, they're going to have certain kinds of down feathers their entire life, so they will always have some down feathers close to their body to keep them warm. Okay, they also will get neck feathers that are they look a little different than some of their other feathers. They will have belly feathers, and in many cases those feathers that are on their belly are going to be lighter in color than the feathers on their back and other places on their body. They will also have wing and tail feathers, and these are called their flight feathers, and I'm going to tell you more about that flying part in just a minute. And then chickens also have feathers on their legs. Now, some breeds of chickens, the feathers go further down on their legs, and in some breeds of chickens, they just are a little bit down their leg. Okay, all of their feathers are water resistant, so that means that if they were to be out in the rain, when the rain falls on them, the water just kind of slides right off them to help them stay dry. Okay. Now, the feathers are actually made of keratin, which is the same thing your fingernails are made of. Okay, so we have something, and your hair too. So your hair and your fingernails are made out of a substance called keratin, and that is what chicken feathers are made out of. In the middle of their feather, it's called the shaft. That is hollow. Why do you think that might be hollow? If you said to keep them light enough so that they can fly, you would be right. Okay. Now, talking about flying, can chickens fly? I don't know. When we had them in their broder, it was a big, tall, and we didn't have anything cover it. Nobody flew out. Nobody flew the chicken coop, right? But here's what I know about that. Chickens can fly. They cannot fly until they're between 5 and 10 weeks. That's when they start to be able to do that flying. They can only fly about 10 feet high. So if you think about how tall, many of your dads are about 6 feet tall. So that's another 4 feet. So it'd be like your dad with you standing on top of them. That's how high they can fly. And then as far as how far they can fly about 40 to 50 feet. Think about a yellow school bus. A yellow school bus is about 36 feet long. So that's kind of how they can fly. They cannot stay in the air for a long time. It's not like a bird or a goose. You've seen goose flying overhead. They fly for just short little jaunts. They stay pretty close and they don't fly a lot. Okay, so now we know that. Now, how can our chickens' feathers help us decide whether it's a boy or a girl? Here's what I thought was super interesting. Take a look at this picture and I'll explain it while you're looking at it. Okay, I have to make sure I'm pointing at the right place. Okay, so boy chicks. Take a look at the feathers. Let me get my pen so I can show you what I'm talking about. Do you see how their feathers on their wings are all about the same length? Okay, that is when they're baby chickens like what we had. That is how you can tell if they were a boy or a girl. So their feathers are all the same length. Now look over here on the girl chicken. Do you see how their feathers are a little bit different? There's some longer ones, some shorter ones, so they're all a little bit different. So that is one way you can look at a baby chick and decide if it's a boy or a girl. I wish I had done this research before I let the chickens go, because I would have gotten the chickens out. But I didn't know about that, so I learned that today. So the video that I shared with you today about the chicks, there is a place where I show you their underneath side so you can see those light feathers. Really, the chicken video is more for just enjoying. So you're not going to see all of these things, but I thought it was all interesting stuff. On Seesaw today, will you just write to me one thing that you learned about chickens from me today and not from Miss Gina, something that you learned from me today. Okay? Cool. Talk to you later. Bye.